Have you ever felt like you're meant for more, but something keeps holding you back? Maybe it's the comfort of routine, the safety of doing what's familiar, or the fear that stepping beyond your limits might lead to failure. Most people live their lives far below their true potential, not because they lack talent or intelligence, but because they settle. They avoid discomfort. They make excuses. But here's the truth. The greatest version of yourself is on the other side of struggle. The ancient Stoics understood this. They believed that strength is forged in adversity, that growth comes from discipline, that a life of purpose is built, not wished for. So today, we're going to dive deep into practical Stoic techniques, proven methods to help you break free from mediocrity and unlock the unstoppable force within you. No more waiting, no more excuses. It starts now. Number 1. The hidden cost of mediocrity. Why staying comfortable is your biggest enemy. Have you ever felt like you were meant for more? Yet, day after day, you find yourself stuck in the same routine. It's not that you're failing, far from it. You're doing what's necessary, you're keeping up, but deep down, you know you're not pushing your limits. This is the silent trap of mediocrity. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't knock on your door and tell you that you're wasting your potential. Instead, it creeps in quietly, disguised as comfort, disguised as routine. And before you realize it, years have passed, and you're still in the same place. The illusion of good enough. Most people don't choose mediocrity consciously. They settle into it. Why? Because it's easy, because it feels safe, because stepping outside of it requires effort, risk, and sometimes failure. Think about it. How many times have you told yourself, "I'll start next week. I'm doing okay. That's enough. I don't want to push too hard and fail." But let's flip that perspective. What if the real failure isn't trying and falling short, but never trying at all? Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic thinkers, put it perfectly. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. Life is not short, but we make it short when we waste time on things that don't push us forward, on distractions, on procrastination, on avoiding challenges because they make us uncomfortable. The Stoic perspective on mediocrity. The Stoics saw mediocrity as a form of self-betrayal. To live a passive life, to avoid challenge and growth, is to ignore your duty as a rational human being. They believed that we are here not just to exist, but to thrive, to cultivate virtue, and to push ourselves toward our highest potential. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king of Rome, wrote in his Meditations, "You could be good today, but instead, you choose tomorrow." How often do we do this? We wait. We delay. We convince ourselves that tomorrow is the right time to start changing. But tomorrow never comes. The habit of postponing becomes permanent. How to recognize when you're stuck in mediocrity. You might think, "I'm not mediocre. I work hard. I try." But mediocrity isn't always obvious. It hides in small choices, in the little compromises we make every day. Ask yourself, am I challenging myself daily? Am I actively improving or just maintaining? Do I avoid discomfort because it's easier to stay the same? If you're not actively growing, then by default, you're staying the same. And staying the same is just another form of decline. Breaking free. The first step toward change. So how do you escape this invisible trap? 1. Acknowledge the truth. The first step in breaking free from mediocrity is recognizing that it exists. If you don't see it, you can't fight it. This is why radical self-honesty is a core Stoic principle. 2. Stop waiting for the right time. There is no perfect moment to start improving your life. Waiting for motivation is a trap. The Stoics didn't wait for motivation. They acted despite their emotions. They understood that growth comes through action, not thought. 3. Choose discomfort over comfort. If something feels too easy, it's probably not pushing you forward. Seek out challenges that force you to grow. This doesn't mean reckless action, but deliberate, disciplined effort. 4. Apply the memento mori principle. One of the most powerful Stoic practices is memento mori, the reminder that life is finite. If you knew you had only 1 year left to live, would you continue playing it safe? The Stoics used the awareness of death not as a source of fear, but as a source of motivation. Every day is an opportunity. Are you using it or wasting it? Are you ready to step up? Mediocrity is not a life sentence. It's a choice, one that we make every day through our actions or lack of action. So ask yourself, are you living up to your full potential? Or are you settling for good enough because it's comfortable? The choice is yours. And in the next section, we'll dive into the power of radical ownership, the mindset shift that will help you take full control of your life. Because true potential isn't unlocked by waiting, it's unlocked by action. Number 2, radical ownership. Take full responsibility for your growth. Taking full responsibility for your growth is one of the hardest but most liberating things you can do. It's easy to blame external factors, your upbringing, your environment, the people around you, or even just bad luck. But the truth is, none of these things have the final say over your life. The Stoics understood that while we can't control everything that happens to us, we have absolute control over how we respond. Epictetus put it simply, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This philosophy is at the core of radical ownership, accepting full responsibility for your actions, your mindset, and ultimately, your life. Excuses keep you weak. Every time you shift the blame, you're giving away your power. You're reinforcing the idea that your circumstances dictate your future rather than your choices. And that is a dangerous mindset to live by. When you believe that external forces are responsible for where you are, you also believe that only external forces can change your situation. But that's not how growth works. The moment you take radical ownership of your life is the moment you reclaim your ability to change it. Think about the times in your life when you've made excuses. I don't have enough time. I wasn't given the right opportunities. I'm just not naturally good at this. These thoughts feel justified in the moment, but in reality, they serve one purpose: keeping you stuck. The Stoics would challenge this way of thinking. They would tell you that time is not something you find, it's something you make. They would remind you that circumstances don't define your potential, your actions do. And they would insist that natural talent means little compared to discipline and effort. Seneca once said, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." What does that mean? It means that waiting for the perfect conditions is a waste of time. You create your own luck through persistence, preparation, and a refusal to surrender to obstacles. It's not about whether the world is fair. It's about what you're willing to do with what you have. A powerful way to practice radical ownership is to identify self-imposed limitations. What excuses do you tell yourself daily? Maybe you think you're too old to start something new, or that you're just not wired for success. Maybe you tell yourself that change is too difficult, so it's better to just accept things as they are. But are these thoughts actually true? Or are they just stories you've told yourself so often that you've started believing them? Stoicism teaches us to question our thoughts, to examine them with logic rather than emotion. If a belief is keeping you weak, it needs to go. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The greatest obstacle you will ever face is not the world around you, it's your own mind. The good news? You have control over that. One of the most effective ways to break free from self-imposed limitations is through daily accountability. Radical ownership is not a one-time decision, it's a habit. The best way to make it stick is to hold yourself accountable every single day. Start by writing down one challenge you will embrace each morning. This doesn't need to be something monumental. It could be as simple as waking up earlier, committing to finishing a difficult task, or facing a fear you've been avoiding. The goal is to train your mind to take responsibility for your choices rather than waiting for circumstances to change. Over time, these small acts of accountability will build momentum. They will shift your identity from someone who reacts to life to someone who takes control. This mindset shift is powerful because it removes any illusion that you are powerless. It makes you realize that every moment is a chance to act in alignment with your highest potential. It teaches you that growth is not about waiting, it's about doing. And most importantly, it forces you to abandon any notion that success is something that happens to you. Instead, you start to see it for what it really is, something you create through relentless commitment and action. The next step is to go even deeper. Now that you understand the importance of radical ownership, it's time to discuss one of the most effective tools the Stoics used to build resilience, the practice of voluntary discomfort. Because if you want to unlock your true potential, you can't just take ownership of your actions, you have to train yourself to embrace the challenges that come with them. Number 3, master your inner dialogue, silencing the inner critic. Your mind is the most powerful tool you have, but it can also be your greatest enemy if you don't learn to master it. How many dreams have died because of self-doubt? How many opportunities have been missed because of fear? The truth is, most of the limitations we face are not in the world around us. They're in our minds. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. They believed that your thoughts are not reality, but merely interpretations. And the way you interpret events determines how you feel and how you act. This is why mastering your inner dialogue is essential to unlocking your true potential. Negative thoughts are like poison. They don't just cloud your judgment, they sabotage your growth. Every time you think, "I can't do this," you reinforce a barrier that stops you from even trying. Every time you say, "This is too hard," you give yourself permission to quit. But what if you could change the conversation inside your head? What if you could learn to silence the inner critic and replace self-doubt with resilience and confidence? This is where Stoic reframing comes in, a powerful technique that helps you detach from harmful emotions and reframe negative thoughts. The Stoics understood that suffering doesn't come from the event itself, but from the judgment we place on it. Epictetus said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views they take of them." What does this mean? It means that the way you perceive a challenge is far more important than the challenge itself. If you see obstacles as burdens, they will weigh you down. But if you see them as opportunities for growth, they become stepping stones to your success. The beauty of Stoic reframing is that it doesn't require you to ignore reality or pretend that everything is perfect. Instead, it teaches you to view challenges through a lens of empowerment and possibility. For example, instead of thinking, "I can't do this," try saying, "I haven't mastered this yet." This subtle shift in language changes the narrative from a permanent limitation to a temporary obstacle. It opens up the possibility of learning and growth. Similarly, instead of saying, "This is too hard," try reframing it as, "This is an opportunity to grow stronger." The challenge doesn't change, but your perception of it does. And when you change your perception, you change your emotional response. You go from feeling defeated to feeling determined. You transform fear into courage and doubt into confidence. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This is the essence of Stoic reframing. Every obstacle is an opportunity. Every challenge is a chance to build resilience. The question is, how do you put this into practice? It starts with awareness. Most people don't even realize how toxic their inner dialogue is because they've been listening to it for so long that it feels normal. The first step is to observe your thoughts without judgment. Notice when your inner critic is speaking. Pay attention to the words it uses. Are they harsh, dismissive, or limiting? Once you become aware of these patterns, you can begin to challenge them. This is where rational Stoic questioning comes into play. Whenever a negative thought arises, ask yourself, is this thought objectively true, or is it just my interpretation? For example, if you think, "I'll never be successful," challenge that thought by asking, is it really true that no matter what I do, I'll never succeed? Or is this just a fear talking? Most of the time, you'll find that your negative thoughts are not grounded in fact, but in fear, insecurity, or past experiences. By questioning them, you weaken their hold on you. A powerful exercise to practice this is to write down one fear or doubt every day. It doesn't have to be something dramatic. It could be as simple as, "I'm afraid I'll fail this project," or "I don't think I'm good enough for this opportunity." Once you've written it down, challenge it using rational questioning. Ask yourself, what evidence do I have that this thought is true? Is there another way to look at this situation? What would I tell a friend who was thinking this way? By confronting your fears on paper, you take away their power. You bring them out of the shadows and into the light of reason. And once you see them clearly, they lose their ability to control you. This practice isn't just about silencing negativity. It's about replacing it with constructive dialogue. The Stoics didn't believe in blind optimism. They believed in rational optimism, choosing to focus on what you can control and viewing challenges as opportunities for growth. They taught that setbacks are not failures but lessons, that discomfort is not a punishment but a pathway to strength. When you adopt this mindset, you become resilient. You stop being a victim of circumstance and start becoming the architect of your destiny. One of the best examples of mastering inner dialogue comes from Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist who was deeply influenced by Stoic philosophy. Despite facing unimaginable suffering in concentration camps, Frankl wrote, "Everything can be taken from a man, but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances." If Frankl could find meaning and purpose in the darkest of situations, what excuse do we have? The power of your mind is limitless, but only if you learn to control the narrative. So, how do you begin this transformation? Start by paying attention to your inner dialogue. Recognize when your thoughts are holding you back and consciously choose to reframe them. Challenge your fears with logic, not emotion. Remember, the goal isn't to eliminate all negative thoughts. That's impossible. The goal is to change your relationship with them, to see them not as truths, but as temporary states of mind that you have the power to change. Mastering your inner dialogue is a lifelong practice, but it's one of the most powerful tools you can use to unlock your true potential. The next step is to put this into action, because recognizing and reframing negative thoughts is only the beginning. If you want to truly transform your mindset, you need to train yourself to embrace discomfort. And that's exactly what we're going to explore in the next section. The Stoic practice of voluntary discomfort, a method used by the ancient Stoics to build unshakable resilience and mental toughness. If you're ready to step out of your comfort zone and become the strongest version of yourself, keep watching. The journey is just beginning. Number 4. Voluntary discomfort, the fastest path to mental toughness. Modern life is designed for comfort. Everywhere you look, convenience is prioritized. Fast food is available at the touch of a button. Entertainment is endless and always accessible. We control the temperature of our environment with a thermostat and can avoid any discomfort with just a few clicks. But here's the problem. Comfort is addictive. The more you seek it, the more you become dependent on it. And over time, this dependency weakens you. It makes you fragile, mentally and physically. You start avoiding anything that feels uncomfortable, even if it's good for you. You settle for less, not because you're incapable of more, but because you've conditioned yourself to stay within the boundaries of comfort. The Stoics understood this over 2,000 years ago. They recognized that true growth doesn't come from ease, but from adversity. They believed that by deliberately exposing yourself to discomfort, you build strength, resilience, and mental toughness. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, the obstacle is the path. The thing you're avoiding is precisely what you need to confront to grow stronger. Think about the things you avoid because they feel uncomfortable. Public speaking, difficult conversations, challenging tasks, physical exertion. These are the very things that would push you to the next level if you face them. But instead, you stay in your comfort zone, telling yourself that tomorrow is a better day to start. That when you're ready, you'll take the leap. But the truth is, you will never feel ready. That's the nature of discomfort. It always feels like a threat, even when it's the very thing you need to grow. The Stoics knew that to be truly strong, you must train your mind to embrace discomfort, not avoid it. This is why they practiced voluntary discomfort, deliberately seeking out challenges and hardships to build resilience and discipline. They understood that by willingly facing adversity, you prepare yourself for whatever life throws at you. It's like a mental workout that strengthens your character and fortifies your spirit. One of the simplest ways to practice voluntary discomfort is by taking cold showers. It sounds trivial, but the impact is profound. When you step into freezing water, every cell in your body wants to escape. Your mind screams for comfort, begging you to turn the handle back to warm. But if you resist that impulse, if you stand there and endure the cold, you train your mind to tolerate discomfort. You teach yourself that just because something feels uncomfortable doesn't mean you have to run from it. This lesson translates to every area of your life. It makes you more resilient in the face of challenges, more disciplined in your actions, and more confident in your ability to withstand adversity. The cold shower is just the training ground. The real test is how you respond to life's difficulties. Another powerful practice of voluntary discomfort is fasting. In modern society, food is not just nourishment, it's entertainment, it's comfort. It's a way to escape boredom or stress. The Stoics understood this and practiced fasting to build self-discipline and detach from instant gratification. By deliberately denying yourself food for a period of time, you break the cycle of dependency. You remind yourself that you are not a slave to your cravings, that you can withstand discomfort without giving in to temptation. Seneca, a prominent Stoic philosopher, would deliberately eat simple, bland foods and wear rough clothing to remind himself that luxury is not necessary for happiness. He wrote, "Set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, 'Is this the condition that I feared?'" By embracing discomfort voluntarily, Seneca prepared himself for whatever hardships life might bring. He knew that if he could be content with less, then no external event could ever truly harm him. The modern equivalent of this practice is fasting, not just from food, but from anything that you depend on for comfort. It could be fasting from social media, from unnecessary purchases, or from other habits that provide temporary pleasure, but ultimately weaken your self-discipline. By deliberately abstaining from these comforts, you train your mind to be resilient. You teach yourself that you are in control, not your cravings, and with each act of discipline, you grow stronger, more focused, and more capable of achieving your true potential. The Stoics also believed in seeking out daily hardships as a way to build mental toughness. In today's world, this could mean taking on small challenges that push you out of your comfort zone. It could be as simple as waking up an hour earlier, doing an extra set at the gym, or initiating a difficult conversation you've been avoiding. It's about choosing the hard path on purpose. Not because you have to, but because you know it will make you stronger. When you seek discomfort intentionally, you are no longer at the mercy of fear. You develop a mindset of courage and resilience. You stop seeing challenges as threats and start seeing them as opportunities to grow. This mindset shift is powerful because it changes the way you approach life. When discomfort becomes a choice, it stops being a source of fear. It becomes a tool for growth. And once you master this, nothing can hold you back. You become anti-fragile, able not just to survive adversity, but to thrive because of it. This is what Marcus Aurelius meant when he said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." The obstacle is no longer something to avoid. It is the path to greatness. So ask yourself, where in your life are you choosing comfort over growth? Where are you letting fear of discomfort keep you from reaching your true potential? What challenges are you avoiding because they feel too difficult? These are the areas where you need to practice voluntary discomfort. Start small. Take cold showers. Fast for a day. Choose the harder path on purpose, not to punish yourself, but to train your mind to embrace adversity, to build the mental toughness that will carry you through life's challenges. The Stoics didn't seek discomfort because they enjoyed suffering. They did it because they knew that comfort is the enemy of growth. They understood that to unlock your true potential, you must be willing to do what others won't. To step into the cold, to endure hunger, to face fear head-on. This is how you build the kind of mental toughness that no obstacle can break. This is how you eliminate the weak version of yourself and become the strongest version possible. The journey to greatness is not paved with comfort. It's built on the challenges you choose to face, the fears you decide to conquer, and the discomforts you willingly embrace. If you want to unlock your true potential, you have to step out of the comfort zone and into the arena of growth. And that's exactly what we're going to explore in the next section. How to build a powerful support system that keeps you accountable and motivated. Because even the strongest minds need the right environment to thrive. If you're ready to take your growth to the next level, keep watching. The best version of yourself is waiting on the other side of discomfort. Number 5. Surround yourself with high-value individuals. Who you surround yourself with shapes who you become. It's that simple. Your environment dictates your mindset. If you surround yourself with people who are complacent, who don't challenge themselves, who avoid discomfort and settle for mediocrity, then sooner or later you'll find yourself doing the same. It's not because you're weak or lack discipline. It's because human beings are wired to adapt to their surroundings. We subconsciously mirror the behaviors, habits, and mindsets of the people closest to us. This is why it's said that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If those people are ambitious, disciplined, and driven, their energy will inspire you to push your limits. But if they're negative, fearful, or complacent, they'll unconsciously pull you down to their level. The Stoics understood this deeply. Seneca, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, wrote, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you." He knew that if you want to reach your highest potential, you must choose your company wisely. Because no matter how strong-willed you think you are, your environment will shape you, whether you realize it or not. Think about the people you spend the most time with. Are they pushing you to grow, or are they holding you back? Do they inspire you to aim higher, or do they pull you down with negativity and doubt? This is not about judging others or thinking you're better than them. It's about recognizing that mediocre company keeps you average. It's about understanding that to unlock your true potential, you need to surround yourself with people who challenge you to be better. If you want to master self-discipline, spend time with people who have mastered it. If you want to think bigger, surround yourself with visionaries and creators who see possibilities where others see limitations. If you want to develop mental toughness, spend time with people who have faced adversity and come out stronger. The company you keep is a reflection of who you are and who you will become. And if you want to change your life, you have to start by changing your environment. This doesn't mean you should cut people out of your life harshly or become arrogant about your growth. It simply means you need to consciously choose who you invest your time and energy in. The first step is to reduce time with people who drain your energy. These are the people who constantly complain, who see obstacles instead of opportunities, who criticize your ambitions because they've given up on their own. They may not be bad people, but they are bad for your growth. Every conversation you have with them chips away at your motivation. Every interaction pulls you back into a mindset of mediocrity. You don't have to eliminate them from your life completely, but you do need to limit your exposure to their negativity. Be polite, be kind, but be firm in protecting your mental space, because your mindset is too valuable to be corrupted by small thinking. Once you've created distance from negative influences, the next step is to seek out mentors, communities, and books that elevate your mindset. In today's world, mentorship is more accessible than ever. You don't need to personally know a mentor to learn from them. You can learn from the greatest minds in history through their writings, lectures, and philosophies. If you want to learn about discipline, read Marcus Aurelius. If you want to master your emotions, study Epictetus. If you want to understand resilience, learn from Viktor Frankl. Books are the most underutilized mentors of all time. They contain the wisdom of the greatest thinkers, distilled into pages you can access anytime. But don't just consume information passively. Apply it, practice it, live it, because knowledge without action is useless. The Stoics understood this. They didn't just talk about philosophy, they lived it every single day. In addition to books, surround yourself with communities of like-minded individuals who are also striving for greatness. Join groups, forums, or masterminds where growth and ambition are the norm. Engage in conversations that inspire you to think bigger. Seek feedback from people who are ahead of you. Allow yourself to be challenged, criticized, and guided by those who have achieved what you're aiming for. Seneca emphasized the importance of this when he wrote, "One of the most beautiful qualities of true friendship is to understand and to be understood." Surrounding yourself with high-value individuals is not just about networking. It's about building meaningful connections with people who understand your journey, who share your values, and who support your growth. This may mean letting go of certain relationships that no longer serve you. It's hard, but it's necessary. Not everyone is meant to go on the journey with you, and that's okay. Growth requires sacrifice, and sometimes that sacrifice is the comfort of familiarity. But remember, you're not leaving people behind. You're moving forward. And by doing so, you're setting an example that may inspire them to grow as well. Change is contagious, and when you elevate yourself, you indirectly elevate those around you. The Stoics believed that we are all interconnected and that our actions influence others. By choosing to surround yourself with greatness, you contribute to a culture of excellence that lifts everyone up. So ask yourself, who do you need to spend more time with? Who inspires you to be better? Who challenges you to think differently? Seek out these people, learn from them, collaborate with them, and just as importantly, become that person for others. As you grow, share your journey. Mentor those who are a few steps behind you. Encourage others to rise to their potential. In doing so, you not only solidify your own growth, but also create a ripple effect that impacts countless lives. This is the power of community. This is the strength of surrounding yourself with high-value individuals. Your environment shapes your destiny. If you surround yourself with people who are ambitious, disciplined, and driven, their influence will push you to your highest potential. But if you settle for mediocrity, it will seep into every area of your life. Don't let that happen. Choose your company wisely. Protect your mindset fiercely. And remember Seneca's words, associate with people who are likely to improve you. This is not just about success. It's about becoming the best version of yourself, about fulfilling your purpose, about living a life of meaning and impact. And to do that, you need the right people by your side. The journey to greatness is never walked alone. It requires a community of thinkers, doers, and dreamers who inspire you to push your limits. But once you've built this network of high-value individuals, there's still one more step to mastering your potential: daily discipline. Because no matter how powerful your environment is, no matter how supportive your community is, your success ultimately depends on your daily habits and actions. And that's what we're going to explore next. If you're ready to learn the small habits that create unstoppable momentum, keep watching. Your journey to greatness continues now. Number 6. Daily discipline. Small habits that create unstoppable momentum. Self-discipline is the backbone of all lasting success. It's the invisible force that drives you to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It's the quiet power that turns intentions into actions and dreams into reality. Without discipline, even the most talented and ambitious individuals will fail to reach their potential because they lack the consistency needed for greatness. The Stoics understood this deeply. They knew that freedom and achievement are not gifts handed to you. They are earned through discipline and self-mastery. Epictetus, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, said, "Freedom is the reward of self-discipline." He believed that true freedom doesn't come from doing whatever you want, but from having the power to do what you must. When you master yourself, external circumstances lose their power over you. You are no longer a slave to impulses, distractions, or excuses. You become the architect of your destiny. But discipline is not something you either have or don't have. It's a skill, a habit, a muscle that you build over time. And just like any other muscle, it grows stronger with practice and consistency. Unfortunately, in today's world, discipline is harder to maintain than ever before. We are surrounded by distractions, social media notifications, endless entertainment, and the constant pressure to stay busy but not necessarily productive. It's easy to fall into the trap of reacting to life rather than directing it. This is why mastering daily discipline is crucial. It's about taking control of your time, your energy, and your focus. It's about building small habits that create unstoppable momentum. The Stoics practiced this rigorously. They didn't leave their growth to chance. They structured their days with intention and purpose. They understood that greatness is not the result of a single heroic act, but of small, consistent actions performed every day. The first step to building daily discipline is to create non-negotiable habits. These are the routines that you commit to, regardless of how you feel. The Stoics were masters of this. Marcus Aurelius would wake up early every morning to meditate and reflect on his duties as an emperor and a human being. He wrote, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, 'I have to go to work,' as a human being." This was his non-negotiable habit, starting his day with purpose and clarity. He didn't wait for motivation. He relied on discipline. You can do the same. Start by creating a morning routine that sets the tone for your day. This could be as simple as waking up at the same time every day, spending a few minutes in quiet reflection or journaling, and moving your body with exercise. The key is consistency. It doesn't matter how intense the habit is. What matters is that you do it every single day. This builds momentum and trains your mind to follow through, even when motivation is low. Another powerful non-negotiable habit is reading. The Stoics were avid readers, constantly seeking knowledge and wisdom. Seneca wrote, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." Reading is not just about gaining information. It's about expanding your mind and challenging your perspectives. Make it a daily habit to read at least one chapter of a book that inspires you or teaches you something valuable. It doesn't have to be a Stoic text. Anything that elevates your thinking will do. The important thing is to do it consistently, even on busy days, even when you're tired, even when you don't feel like it. This is how you build the muscle of discipline. The next step to mastering daily discipline is to track your progress. This may sound simple, but it's incredibly effective. When you track your habits, you create accountability. You turn abstract goals into concrete actions. The Stoics were meticulous about self-examination. At the end of each day, Seneca would review his actions and reflect on his choices. He would ask himself, what bad habit did I curb today? How am I better? This practice of self-accountability is crucial for growth. You can do the same by keeping a habit tracker or journal. Write down your daily commitments and check them off as you complete them. These small wins might seem insignificant, but they build massive momentum over time. They give you a sense of progress, which fuels your motivation to keep going. When you see that you've completed 30 days of journaling or 60 days of exercise without missing a day, it builds a powerful sense of identity. You no longer see yourself as someone who tries to be disciplined. You become someone who is disciplined. This shift in identity is what creates lasting change. But to truly master discipline, you must also learn to avoid distractions. In today's world, distractions are everywhere, constantly competing for your attention. They break your focus and scatter your energy, leaving you exhausted but unproductive. The Stoics were masters of focus. They believed in simplifying life to what truly matters. Epictetus said, "If you wish to improve, be content to appear clueless or stupid in extraneous matters." This means not getting caught up in trivial pursuits or mindless entertainment. It means choosing depth over distraction. You can apply this by practicing digital minimalism, turning off unnecessary notifications, setting boundaries for social media use, and creating dedicated time blocks for focused work. Decide what truly matters to you and eliminate everything that doesn't contribute to your growth. This isn't about being rigid or extreme. It's about protecting your time and energy for what matters most. When you eliminate distractions, you free up mental space for creativity, productivity, and deep work. Discipline is not about willpower. It's about designing an environment that supports your growth. It's about building habits that make success inevitable. It's about creating a system that keeps you on track, even on the days when motivation is nowhere to be found. This is why the Stoics were so disciplined. They built their lives around principles, not feelings. They didn't let emotions dictate their actions. They acted according to virtue and reason. They understood that greatness is the result of small, consistent actions performed over a lifetime. Imagine what your life would look like if you mastered daily discipline. Imagine the goals you could achieve, the skills you could learn, the person you could become. This is not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about becoming just a little bit better every day. The Stoics believed that this was the purpose of life, to strive for excellence, to reach your highest potential, to become the best version of yourself. But this doesn't happen by accident. It happens through intentional effort and disciplined action. It happens through daily habits that build unstoppable momentum. If you want to eliminate your weak self and unlock your true potential, you must commit to daily discipline. You must choose growth over comfort, purpose over pleasure, and progress over perfection. This is not an easy path, but it's the only path to greatness. And it starts with the small choices you make every day. So ask yourself, are you ready to master daily discipline? Are you ready to build the habits that will transform your life? If you are, then it's time to take action. It's time to create the routines, track the progress, and eliminate the distractions that are holding you back. It's time to take control of your destiny. And in the next section, we'll dive into the final piece of the puzzle, the power of taking full responsibility for your life. Because discipline is only effective when combined with radical ownership. If you're ready to unlock your true potential, keep watching. The journey continues now. Growth isn't accidental. It requires intentional effort, deliberate choices, and the courage to face discomfort. Stoicism provides the perfect framework to unlock your true potential, showing you how to eliminate your weak self and embrace the strongest version of who you are. Today, we explored the hidden cost of mediocrity, the power of radical ownership, mastering your inner dialogue, embracing voluntary discomfort, surrounding yourself with high-value individuals, and the importance of daily discipline. These Stoic principles are more than just philosophies. They're practical tools that, when applied consistently, can transform your life. But remember, knowledge alone isn't enough. Action is what creates change. So, here's the question. Which Stoic technique will you apply today? Will you challenge your inner critic? Will you take full responsibility for your growth? Or will you choose voluntary discomfort to build resilience? Share your answer in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you're using Stoicism to overcome mediocrity and unlock your true potential. And if you found this video valuable, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Stoic Teachings Today for more insights on self-discipline, Stoic wisdom, and achieving greatness. Remember, your journey to true potential doesn't start tomorrow. It starts right now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.